Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. That's right. I copied that floppy. I don't care what the rapper said. I like copying floppies, okay? Now it's even more floppy. And yes, that is a copy of this floppy. This is this floppy. It's all, you know, you couldn't even tell the difference, other than this being on a sheet of paper and completely black, as opposed to orange. Oh, software piracy is nothing to joke about, and I'm being serious about that. I've seen too many people admit that they pirate software, and they're kind of proud of it, saying, oh, you can get a serial, you can crack it. That's not fair. I'm sorry, it's just not fair. It is so much easier to approach a vendor. If you, let's say, want a free copy of software, to approach them and say, do you have a NFR copy available or not for resale, or a review copy available? And then, of course, you would write up your review after you received it. That's the easiest way to get free software. Not to pirate it. Don't pirate it. It's easy for you to get a blog. You can get a blog for free, like on lockergnome.com, and then do software reviews, and then get the software for free, completely legally, and then end up, you know, making yourself a better person and not contributing to the whole realm of digital piracy. Matt A, or Ablaze in chat, he says he's usually not in there, but watches the videos on YouTube, writes in and he says, had some questions about piracy issues on the internet today. I watch your videos every day on YouTube and find them very informative, and I noticed you haven't done a video on anti-piracy. I was wondering what your thoughts are about software piracy or piracy in general, music, video, etc. Should it be stopped on the internet? Is it the software developer's responsibility to stop users from cracking their program, or is it the user's responsibility to resist using the program without paying? How can piracy best be slowed down? My personal thoughts on this is that piracy will never completely go away. Piracy can be slowed down, but not completely stopped. A lot of software piracy happens because users want to use a program but are unaware of the program's ability, which motivates them to crack the software to see it for themselves. I think a demo of commercial software today would help decrease software piracy. There are more motives to why people crack commercial software that I'm not sure of, but I was wondering what your thoughts are on this. Thanks. It's a complex issue. I mean, it's simple. Don't pirate. But it is complex. There are a lot of people who like the software for what it might be able to bring them as a regular user, or maybe as a business user. But if you don't want to pay for software, either find freeware, or find open source alternatives, or develop your own. But, beyond that, I mean, that's just like, expecting to get a car for free. I mean, a car is a physical product, right? But it helps you get from point A to point B, right? Software does the same thing. And in many cases, open source or free software is better than any commercial alternative. That's not always the case. Not always. You kind of got to look around. But I think you'd be better serving the developer and yourself by taking a moral approach to this entire situation. An immoral approach would be downloading the software and registering it with codes and information that aren't your own. I mean, it's $30 here, $40 there. You're thinking, well, gosh, that would just add up, and I wouldn't be able to pay for anything. Well, then don't pay for it. Just don't use the software. It's kind of simple. I don't know what you expect me to say. I don't know why anybody would come out and say, oh, I crack software all the time. Blah, blah, blah. It's not the way to go. It just isn't. I mean, if you really like the software and you want to see more of it, there's no better way of sending a message to the developers than to buy the software. I'm not going to say that's always a truth. I mean, there are some companies who I believe are charging way too much for the software, but that doesn't mean that you are any more justified in taking an illegal course of action. If a creator has defined their piece of work to be worth this much to them, then you have to meet that mark, or you're not playing by the rules. If I sit here and I'm looking around for something that I can, okay, let's say I made this cup of coffee. I put a value on this cup of coffee. I say this cup of coffee is worth $1. Now, not only do you know you're getting a bargain, because in here is Pete's French pressed by myself. That's right. So you know it's going to be good coffee, and it is a medium-sized cup. And you know I love my coffee. That's a bargain, right? If you really liked coffee, but all right, yeah, sure, $1, it's pretty good, and I know Chris made it, so it's going to be good coffee. That's how I define what I think this is worth, or what I think people are going to pay, or what I want people to pay. Now, if I sat here and said, this cup of coffee is worth $10, I'm not forcing you to buy it, am I? Am I? No. Some people might think it's worth $10. I could put it on eBay for $10 and see if anybody wants to buy this cup of coffee, which, by the way, has been almost completely consumed. Okay, completely consumed. It's not just sludge at the bottom. My point is that you've got to agree on their terms, because they made it. That's it. Period. End of story. If you like it, buy it, or figure out another way to get a hold of it. And like I said, just set up a blog. You can do that for free. Get started in reviewing software if you're passionate about it and you can write well. There you go. You can even use software to demonstrate products. I show you from ShinyWhiteBox.com. They're a sponsor of our program. There's also TechSmith's suite of software. They've sponsored some of the stuff that I've done in the past. You can do screencasts with either one of those programs. Now, granted, they're not free, but as I said, if you get started with reviewing software, you'll find that a lot of those doors will open up to you. It's real easy to ask for a review code, so long as you've got a place to put that review, and you plan on doing it. I usually don't ask for review codes. Sometimes they'll be sent to me. I will every once in a while ask for one, just because I know, like, this is really cool. I'd like to talk about it, but if I don't have to pay for it, I mean, I know it's $30, but if I can ask for it in exchange for promotion, then hey, they win, I win, we're all happy. No piracy takes place. It's not that difficult to do. It's more easy and morally appropriate for you to get permission than it is for you to take something that's not rightfully yours. Those are my thoughts on piracy. I know other people are going to disagree, and I know there are people who've got pirated software on their computers, can't stop it from happening. All I can say is just try to be a better human being. What would you do? How would you feel if you created something and people were just taking it? And you created it at a certain value. If you said, it's worth $5, and then people are just taking it for free, they were stealing it and spreading it, how would that make you feel? Would you feel cheated? Piracy is a big issue. There are ways to get around paying for software without going down an illegal path. Anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. And you're also welcome to stop by our chat room, where we're talking about software frequently. People make a lot of recommendations. We do not tolerate any kind of discussion when it comes to piracy. And I've talked about how I feel about music and media in the past. I think media companies are just kind of waking up to digital distribution. I've caught up on a lot of this season's lost episodes on the web. Unfortunately, ABC is still a little restrictive with what they're doing, which is just a tiny bit disappointing. And I've got a Rhapsody subscription, and I've got discounts for Rhapsody subscriptions if other people want one. I don't like DRM, and I think DRM has caused a lot of piracy. More than anything, DRM, the thing that's supposed to keep people from pirating, I think has driven piracy more than anything. And I also believe DRM is one of the causes of spyware. Not because DRM is spyware, necessarily, because people are trying to get around DRM. And so they download tools, or they open up their machine on a P2P network to share files back and forth because they don't want to use something that's going to be crippled, when in fact they're crippling themselves. It's just a whole enigma wrapped inside a puzzle, and the people that are trying to help, aren't able to. I don't know. I don't know what else I can say here in this video that hasn't already been said by me or other people. So if you want to stop by the chat room, you never know what we're going to be talking about, really, but you're welcome to join us anytime, day or night. That's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.